Good morning and welcome to episode 2 of our 1.18 Vault Hunters playthrough. Today, well, we got a couple of things to dive into, but first and foremost, I want to get into what I've been up to in between episodes, which is very quite simply just replacing the base and making it look a little bit better because, I mean, what good is a base if it's not aesthetically pleasing? Now, a couple things I do want to go over, such as how to get this cobblestone brick slab stuff and the budding crystal, which we didn't really talk about in the first episode, and I feel a little bit bad about. But you can't actually move this budding crystal. All you have to do is we'll smack it. You can see up there in our jade settings, if you look to the very top middle, it says we can mine this with even a wood pickaxe. So, yeah, just get to swinging. It does take a while, but that's so you don't accidentally mine it, doing work around your base. I'm not going to mine it again because when you do, it breaks all of the progress on your crystal buds. So make sure that, when you do go to replace it, you've just harvested them, so you're not losing progress, right? Anywho's, back into the base design here that we've been working on. So essentially, I'm just replacing all the dirt that was here with the spruce slabs and adding cobblestone brick slabs to the outside to give it a bit more depth, right? Now, to get these cobblestone brick slabs, it's actually really easy. You just take cobblestone bricks and turn them into slabs. To get the cobblestone bricks, you just lay out cobblestone, just like you would if you were trying to get regular bricks. Now you'll notice up above the recipe we have this little arrow switchy thing. Just click on that and you can see all the different types of recipes that same coordination of blocks can make. So for example, putting 4 cobblestone in a row also gives us these cobblestone bricks, which are just slightly different. We'll probably be incorporating those into the build as well. Just haven't found out where quite yet. So that's pretty much it as far as the cobblestone bricks. If you're looking for something a bit different for design wise, you can always come in here and use either one of these, sort of spruce things up and keep it a little less vanilla. Now, all that being said, our objective with the vaults today, I want to go through, well, basically what you'll be needing from your second vault and on as far as early game goes, as well as how to get the most amount of loot and how to best perform in each vault. So essentially we'll be going through, like I said, how to go through the second vault here, as well as the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, because I believe that there are 2 primary ways of going and clearing vaults, at least here in the early game. Let me go ahead and drop off some of this stuff. And we're completely out of inventory space because I've been using it all up for, well, building meaningless stuff, but it'll turn out good for us in the end whenever we look at our base, and we're very proud of the end result. So yeah, we'll basically be going through how to collect the most amount of loot in the vaults as possible, as well as another method for clearing the vaults, which is simply how to gain a whole lot of Vault Hunter experience. If you look right above the hunger bar, you'll see that we kind of have a whole nother experience bar, and it says 0 at the top. That is the experience bar for our abilities and our talents, which I didn't explain in the first one. I just sort of explained what these were and that you can get skill points, but I didn't actually explain where the bar was and what you're looking to do. So the only way that you can gain Vault Hunter experience is with inside the vaults. Now you can gain this from opening chests, slaying mobs, beating the boss, all kinds of different things, right? I'm trying to be quick here because we do want to go ahead and jump into this vault. So, that all being said, there are 2 approaches, in my opinion, to these early vaults. You can either go for experience or go for a lot of items. I think you should really focus on one or the other, not both, because you'll get a bit jumbled, right? Anyways, with all that being said, I say, let's hop in to another vault. Alrighty, and here we are, just like last time, Beginner's Grace Vault. This is pretty much what you're always going to be getting. Now, we don't have any food. I wasn't smart enough to bring any food through with me, so we're going to be looking for some of that pretty early on here, getting some more seeds just in case we do need them. And it looks like our exit is in the west direction. Not necessarily important if we're doing our marker method, which we will be doing here. Come in handy to know where you came from. This room is not a very good room for us to be gaining loot in. However, it is a good room for experience. So we're going to be talking about one of the 2 ways to deal with vaults here and now. That is going to be gaining experience. Since in our first vault we didn't really encounter all too many mobs, and of the mobs we did encounter, most of them just immediately died, we didn't get a whole lot of experience. As you'll notice there at the bottom, we didn't even fill up 1 single bar. That's because we ourselves didn't actually slay the mobs. Now, that being said, one of the methods you can use for furthering yourselves in the Vault Hunters mod pack is just by coming in here and trying to get a bit more experience, right? Slaying off some mobs, and I think those zombies might have fizzled out that spawner there. It's perfectly fine. We can always go and deal with them here in just a minute. There's another spawner up there that I would like to get to fairly safely, if at all possible. Now what we'll do is we'll drop down here. This spawner did indeed fizzle out. We're going to try to pop up here just enough to provoke this one, right? And there we go. All the mobs spawned, spawner fizzled, and now we can simply sit here and slay the mobs. Now what you want to do if you're looking to gain a whole lot of mob, or Vault Hunter experience rather, is to simply find one of these spawners that doesn't stop spawning. You'll pillar up 3 blocks, and you'll just get to slaying. Slay as many mobs as you possibly can in the early game to give you enough experience to be well worth it. All that being said, we have slain all the mobs here, but we know that there is 2 zombies that kind of went down and around. There they are. They're going to calmly make their way back up here if they can. Doesn't look like they can, so we should be fine. Now this we'll get into a bit later. It's a treasure door. We don't exactly have the means to get inside of there. Now we did have a spawner in here, but I don't think there's actually any chests surrounding this area. It's just an extra little spawner for extra protection. So we'll come down here and open these. Not a whole lot of good stuff in there, but we did get some bread. That's going to be useful for us. And in this one, a golden carrot. Hey, fantastic. So, and we're going to pretty much call it on this room. I always prefer to... Oh, goodness. So there's got to be a spawner down here that just doesn't stop spawning, right? Because, you know, all these mobs. All these mobs, which are slowly trickling up here, but this does give us a great opportunity to basically showcase what I was talking about. So we have all these mobs. All of them want to attack and murder us. Probably go up 1 more block here. Because once they start pushing each other, they will get a lot closer to hitting you, especially with the jumps. And you don't want to fall off of a pillar like this, trust me. At least not before we have heal, which is an ability we'll get into today, and part of the reason that I want to actually start gaining some experience. There are 2 abilities that I really think are crucial for Sky Vaults and Vault Hunters in general. And, well, I'd like to be able to use them, right? If they're going to be crucial, then I would like to have access. Now, I'm not quite sure where the spawner is for all these mobs, because now they've stopped spawning, so obviously we're out of range of it. But there is still more mobs down there. We can hear them quite clearly, plain as day. My plan is to run on down the stairs over here to this flat section, and we'll rebuild ourselves up a platform. So we're going to run on down, give ourselves good space in between everybody. 2, 3, and 4. Now we do 4 because sometimes these hunters, these fighters, whatever you want to call them, they jump and they get you. We're essentially just going to build ourselves a little safety platform. And now we pull everybody off to the side and get to smacking. And it doesn't look like any more mobs are coming out, so yeah, still not sure where the spawner for this was. I don't entirely know the rooms by heart quite yet. Starting to learn them, but of course all of this takes time. I'm guessing it's from right there, right? We went up top and that started spawning in mobs. Oh, missed one. Come here, Mr. Zombie. Alright. But now that we're not near that spawner, obviously you can see no more mobs. So, this is where we came from. Just going to come back here and get some of the dirt real quick. Again, no mobs should spawn up because we're not near the spawner. We're not near any sort of way to provoke them. We're going to go ahead and exit this room. I'm going to keep on searching. There is one thing that I would like to get out of the second vault. It's more so a material, not necessarily experience that we're looking for here, but that's perfectly fine as well. And if I'm going to be farming, you know what I didn't do? I didn't set my marker here. If I'm going to be farming for experience, what I really prefer to do is to find the perfect spawner for this situation. Now, obviously, you don't want to spend too much time, because the more time you spend looking for one, it's the less amount of time that you spend slaying mobs and getting your experience, right? That being said, I'm a little picky. I'm a little bit of a picky person. I like for my... Oh, that's good. I see a red chest up there. Could be a little difficult to get to, but I think if we do get to it, it'll be well worth it. And so for that, we gotta try. More stuff over here. We're gonna go and try to complete this first. And there we go. Fizzled out. 4 more mobs right here for us. Now, 4 blocks is too high for you guys. There we go. Now, you can use an axe. An axe will do more damage than a sword, but due to the AoE attack damage, in a lot of cases when you're getting surrounded like this, a sword will actually do more damage just because it's dealing more damage across the board to more mobs. In this scenario, probably about the same, but it allowed me to clear out things a bit quicker here. Now we can go over here and get our rewards. Always check behind you before you just go opening a chest and la-di-dying off into it, right? It's just good practice. It's like not letting me select this chest here. I wonder... There we are. Alright, so a bit more food for us, a lot of useless items. Go ahead and pick them all up. That way, you know, no matter what, you have them. Oh, I think I just saw a sapling drop. Yes, that's an oak sapling, so it'll be able to give us a bit of variance there. Now, the chest that I saw is up around this path. Let's go ahead and eat some food and get our dirt back ready. Jump, jump, hop, skip, jump. And 1, 2, 3. We'll go ahead and go up 4, and then I want to start making my way downtown, walking around like I'm homebound. Is that how the song goes? Look, it's been a while, and honestly, not one of the songs that I should necessarily know all too much about. All right, so we're gonna go up another one here. I think the spawner fizzled out, which honestly, we keep finding these spawners that fizzle out. We may have to go back to that initial one that we saw that did not fizzle to complete the rest of this. Because yeah, there's no more spawner over here. Wow, that is a little insane. All right, well, hey, we'll take it. I'll certainly take it. It makes my job a whole lot easier. Alright, so let's just get these zombies here. The baby zombies really all we have to worry about. The worst thing about a baby zombie, sure, they're fast, they're hard to hit. They're actually short, so you can't do this little cheesing method all too easily. You have to get down really, really close to their level. What I like to do is something like that. You want to break any possible point they have for jumping up and getting you. And be very careful when you're doing this, but once you're safe and secure, it's really not that difficult. That should emerge you, but I was being a doofus. So there we go. We're also level 10, so you do still get regular experience while you're inside the vaults. So that's nice as well. Bit more free torches. We'll grab this anvil. It is already very damaged, but you never know when you're going to need an anvil. And here we go, an ornate chest. These are the loot that you're looking for. Red chest, living chest. Oh, there's a diamond pickaxe. You love to see it. I love to see it. We definitely need it. And raw magnetite. Sorry. So yeah, all that's super awesome. If you see these red chests, definitely go for them. They are where you really get your money and values worth. Now, looking over there, I don't think there's anything special. Oh, well, there are some coin piles, but honestly, coin piles don't interest me this early simply because we have no use for them. So, really not that convinced that we need them here. Now, we didn't set a marker on this room either. I have a feeling we came from this direction, didn't we? Really got to get better about practicing what I preach. Obviously, it's a lot easier to say than to do, to remember every single time you walk into a new room. You got to place a torch down, right? Yeah, but this is the way that we came from. So, There's your spawner down there, but I don't believe that it's going to be worth it. What we're going to do is we're going to go explore one more room. We have 13 minutes left. Then we'll go back to that original spawner because we know it works, basically. It's not the best. You definitely don't want mobs spawning above you generally when you do these XP farms. That being said, beggars can't be choosers. If you don't have a choice, do what needs to be done. Now there's a spawner right there. Is it gonna fizzle? You a fizzly thing? There we go. Bit more damage here with the iron sword. Bit easier to take things out. We're gonna need to get a little bit closer here so we can continue to proc it. Looks like it's not going to be one that fizzles. Generally, if they fizzle, they spawn everything immediately and then die out. This one, however, is not. So what we're going to do is try to get on over here to it. And I wonder what's up with this spawner. I've actually never seen it before, but it doesn't look like there's any decent resources around it. A couple pieces of redstone and coal, but it's really nothing to sneeze at. So let's see. This could be our spawner for farming. Oh, goodness. Alright, tell you what. Let's get rid of these. Spawning those guys a little too close for my comfort, personally. Now, this mod pack does have fork in it, so essentially we can aim below blocks to place other blocks, which is obviously not in vanilla Minecraft, but it is a really, really nifty feature that we can utilize here. So yeah, this is basically all you'll want to do for experience. You'll see there's a ton of mobs down below us. Be very careful. Every once in a blue moon, you'll get a skeleton that does have a bow and arrow, in which case you don't want to be too close to the edge. That's why you see me sort of cowering here instead of being a daredevil and getting right up near them. But yeah, the mobs will continue to spawn. We'll keep on slaying them. We'll get decent amount of Vault Hunter XP, and obviously the higher the level you go in Vault Hunters, the less effective this method will be. But yeah, there's literally nothing over here. So this spawner, if you come to it and you're not looking for experience, just run. There's nothing to be had. No loot will be returned to you today. Oh! And there we have it. Alright. Skeleton with a bow, and we don't have a shield. That pretty much seals the deal. So, we can try to get him to shoot something else. It's going to be very difficult, though. Every hit we take is, well, basically increasing the risk of us just fighting it. Okay, that was a good swing there. Oh, we're damaging him. We're damaging him. Just gotta be careful. Again, if he gets a pop shot off on us on the side and we fall off, it's very likely that could equal death for us. However, there's also a chance that he drops his bow and arrow for us, or, you know, just bow or whatever. Nope, that was the sword one. Did we happen to already get the bow guy? I mean, obviously, that's what we're hoping happens. No real way of telling until we go to drop. That's okay, we still have 9 minutes left. We're not, but what, 2-3 rooms away from our main thing there. So yeah, we'll just keep on farming experience. I might speed up the footage here, because other than that, it's just going to be another 4 minutes of us doing this, which is essentially letting things spawn, murdering them, and continuing on. Right, because this is just... Uh-oh, a witch? We gotta get out of there. Oh, no, it's not a witch, it's a ghost. Those ghosts, they get me. They can sound like witches, creepers, horses, sheep, like literally any mob in the game. So be careful, sometimes you'll hear something and you'll be like, oh my goodness, you know, there's a creeper. Turns out it's only a ghost, don't have a heart attack. I mean, obviously ghosts are still nothing fun. But just like any other basic attack mob, they can't really jump to get you. They're about the same height, so just treat them all the same. I know they look different, they sound different, but they act the same. I'm surprised we haven't just amassed a whole army of baby zombies. That's generally what happens for me here. And when that happens, obviously you got to take a bit extra precaution. But we can still reach the spawner, and it's up, which means that mobs can't really block us. One of the major things with breaking spawners that you'll realize whenever you go to break some of your own, a lot of the times the mobs will use them to try to get to you. They'll stand on them, jump on them, move in front of them. And if that's happening, well, you can't break it, obviously. If a mob walks in front of you, it's going to try to swing at it, and so it's not going to continue to break the spawner. Alrighty, so we're just about out of time here. What I want to do is break this spawner, but I wanted to bring y'all back in to show you these spawners take a long time to break. And this is why I'm saying, if you're going to do this, make sure you're pilling it up, make sure you're safe, because there's no way you're going to be able to break this spawner before it spawns more things and they try to attack you. So if you're going for this method, if you're not just going for the run and loot, make sure you're safe when you do go to break those. All that being said, we're going to slay these last couple mobs, and then I have one or two more things that I would like to look for, search for, before we do get out of this vault, if we have enough time, which is looking like we will, because we ended that a little early there. I don't know what sound effect that was. Obviously not a common mob, or one from Minecraft. But, yeah, terrifying. Alright, absolutely terrifying. What we'll do is pull you over to here. We just need him to be a little bit higher up, right? There we are. Now we can take care of this little baby. Cool. So that's pretty much it as far as getting some good free earnest experience goes. Let's get this redstone. Can I pick it up? I did. Cool, cool, cool. Now let's get back down here. Before we're running off and leaving and trying to get out of the vault, one, I want to make sure that I have my marker set. Of course I didn't. Why would I? That'd only make all too much sense there. I don't believe this is our way back home, but that's okay. I'm just doing a quick little peek-see anyways. Just trying to search and find a little bit of lava. I didn't mention it in the first episode because I think if you task someone with looking for too many things right off the bat, it's going to get a bit confusing. And I just didn't want to do that to y'all, but you are going to need some lava for a cobblestone generator. You don't absolutely need it if you just want to come into the vaults every single time to mine your cobblestone, but trust me, that's going to get tedious, and you really don't want to spend your vault time mining cobblestone, right? You want to spend it exploring, gaining experience, all that good stuff. So we didn't come from this way either. That being said, there's a piece of ancient debris right here on the surface. Hello. For the free. And easy taken. Got a little bit more redstone there. Now we are going to have to drop something. I say we drop the oak slab. Who needs those? We don't need any more saplings. There's some diamonds up top here. These rooms are really, really excellent, and we'll get more into this when we talk about looting. But for the time being, this was supposed to be an experience gaining vault, not necessarily a loot gaining vault. But, you know, we had the time. Basically, we're just checking around here, seeing if there's any easy iron. If not, we are heading back out. Just one piece right here. Make sure we can actually pick it up. What can we drop? Let's be quick with this. We'll just drop the sword. There's probably something else better. Yeah, you can't worry too much about it. We got limited time here. So, I have pushed myself to the very limit. We're going to go ahead and head on back. One way you can speed yourself up, and this is just a basic vanilla Minecraft thing, sprint and jumping. All right, so you just continuously jump as you're sprinting. I recommend you put your sprint onto a toggle key. Just makes it easier to turn it on and forget it. And likewise, turn it off and not worry about burning through hunger. That being said, while you're in the vault, you'll pretty much always want to be, ooh, we didn't come from this direction, and I quite simply don't have the time to deal with all that, so we're going to keep on moving. I could have ran over there and tried to get it. The chance of it spawning one of those hunter mobs just isn't worth it to me because they move really fast. And we've got to move really fast if we want to get out of here and back to our entrance, which of course we do, because if we die in here, all of the experience and all of the knowledge that I've just bestowed upon you will be all for nothing. So let's try to make our way around here. I do see my torch, which is my indicator on which way to go here. And we have about 2 minutes left. I don't recommend cutting your first or second vault this closely. Me personally, like I said, I've done this at least a couple times now, so we do have a decent pacing on things. And honestly, it'd be better if I would remember to put my markers, but hey, here we are. And there's the vault portal. So with our 2 minutes remaining, I say we come back out here to this entrance and maybe get a little more cobblestone. Since we didn't find any lava, we don't have a cobblestone generator, which means all this stuff is going to be very, very useful. We already have 1 stack on us. Getting a second stack could be very nice. Now, be careful. Obviously, mining in Minecraft can be a bit distracting. It's very easy to just say, oh, whoops, I forgot to look at the timer. 2 minutes ran out, and I died because I was mining stone. Don't let that be you. Don't be another statistic, right? You're better than that. Got about a minute left. We are about to dip out of here. Just wanted to get a little bit more. And since we have a diamond pickaxe, gathering this stuff is really quick. We're at 58. This will be 60. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, should be 2 stacks. Perfect. And we got a minute left. What better time to leave the vault? And look at that, 1,000 experience gain because we unalived 85 mobs. All this being said, it is raining once again out here. I'm not sure how many days have passed, but just to keep ourselves safe from phantoms, we're going to put ourselves a little dirt barrier right above us. And now we can do our sorting and all that good stuff. Wait for dayfall, all the shenanigans. But taking a quick glimpse here, we managed to get a diamond, some iron, both raw and in ingot form. So that's good. We can't make a shield, as I've mentioned before. Shields are not made the same way, and you'll come to find this is the case with a lot of recipes. So they actually can't be made at all. Can't craft a shield whatsoever. Gotta find them, I guess. I'm not sure. But yeah, as far as my knowledge goes, you cannot craft a shield. Maybe the unidentified vault shield, but no, it doesn't even look like you can craft that. So yeah, we're gonna sit here and wait for a day to yeah, we're going to sit here and wait for daylight to come. As we do, we're going to take a look at our Vault Hunter experience. Obviously, we just leveled up there, which is why, you know, I say it's a good idea to focus on experience because we want to get these levels so we can actually spend them on things such as Farmer. Now, if you're playing regular Vault Hunters in an open world kind of thing, I don't necessarily recommend Farmer. It's not going to do all that much for you. If you're playing Sky Vaults, we can get a mob farm going, which will give us bone meal, which means we don't necessarily need Farmer. We have trees. You can wait all the time in the world, so you don't need Farmer. Okay, let me make that very clear. That being said, if you're someone like me, and you don't have 40 to 80 hours a week to spend playing Vault Hunters, get Farmer. It's going to make it a lot easier. It's going to make things a lot faster. And even though it says, you know, seeds, potatoes, carrots, beetroot, flax seeds, what it also does is saplings. So, what you'll want to do, once you've selected an ability, look in the very bottom left, you'll see that we have that the same symbol for Farmer, right? Right above our blue, or right below, rather, our blue mana bar. It's kind of hard to see because it is very tiny there, but that is essentially telling us what spell we have selected. With the spell selected, you can go ahead and use your use ability. And if you'll notice down there, our mana is draining, and these crops here are getting bone milled, and then we can go back and harvest them. And we're going to hold off on that for just a bit because obviously our inventory is very full, and yada yada yada. I want to actually get into the controls here for how to use your abilities, because I know there will be a lot of questions about this, and I'd rather just stamp it out early. So, I've left a lot of this unmarked because I don't think that we should mark it until we know what we're using, know what we're doing, all that good stuff. And I think the same should go for you too. All that being said, I have my ability cast key very simply set to the side button on my mouse. This way, no matter what ability is there, I can always cast it fairly easily, whether it's Farmer or Heal or Dash or Jump. We can do that. Our ability wheel is set to the left alt, which by default is actually pretty fine because the only other things that I can think of with left alt, focus schematic overlay, which obviously won't be too big of a deal. Access nearby toolboxes. Obviously, if you're running a vault, you shouldn't have any toolboxes in there. So, all that being said, left alt, pretty good key for what it does. After that, let's take a look back down here at the vault, which is technically what the Vault Hunters mod is classified as. This is also where you can change your skill tree, how to open it. So ours is just set to H. That's perfectly fine by me. But you'll notice for a lot of the abilities, it says select and use ability. So when you go to press that key, it'll select the ability and start to use it. So for instance, if we have heal, if I was to press the other button that I have on my mouse, we'll just immediately heal, and heal will be selected. So we'll go on cooldown, we'll heal up the hearts, and it'll be selected as our current ability. This is perfectly fine. Most of the time when you're selecting an ability, it's because you want to use it, and I think that this is something that's very useful within the vaults, right? You don't want to have to select the ability and then scroll to use it, or vice versa, scroll to select it and then use it. It just takes a lot of time out of actual functionality. If you want to scroll, you have the ability, but for the large majority, you're going to be setting these up to hotkeys, and you won't be using all of them all the time, right? So, all that being said, let's look back here. Our ability key is to right there on the side, and we'll just grow up these crops. Now, your mana regens naturally, so you don't have to worry about, oh, what if I use all my mana, yada, yada, yada. It's not a big ordeal. But now we have a way of getting crops. We don't have to worry about how saturated the ground is, or using bone meal, or really even how many we have planted, because we can just continuously grow them up and replant. Alrighty, so morning has just fallen upon us. We're doing a little bit of base work here, just trying to expand things because I needed to set up an extra chest. And since I needed to do that, I figured let's go ahead and clear out some things around the base. So we've expanded the water to over there. We put our crops off to the side. And we're going to have ourselves a nice little platform right here for getting some really rather large tree production going. Here's actually where I want it, a little bit further away from the side. And we'll move this later on, but I want to show you why exactly you want to get that farmer specialization if you don't have a whole lot of time like me, and you're just sort of playing this as, you know, part of your main thing, or you play this in the evenings, whatever it may be, right? So I'm just going to toss some stuff off here so we can have a little bit of a clear inventory. We'll sort all this here in just a second. But what you can do with the farmer perk or skill, whatever you want to call it, ability, is you can actually grow these large spruce trees. So you just set down 4 spruce trees, once you do have enough saplings, of course. And voila, all the wood you'll ever need in the Skyblock. Now, obviously, sometimes these don't have the best chance of giving you more saplings, so do be careful with that. With that being said, all you'll do from here is, you know, tower all the way up it, mining wood, and then go all the way back down, right? After that, you'll have enough wood to build to your heart's content, to create charcoal for torches, or whatever you want to do, right? Alright, so we got that large tree chopped down. You'll notice the sun is setting here. What we're going to want to do is build ourselves a little bit of a temporary platform for when we come back out of the vault. This is just going to protect us from phantoms, but I wanted to explain all this real quick while I have the time. So we chopped down the large tree, got a ton of wood out of it, right, and a ton of stuff to work on. One of the reasons we've been doing vaults and working on our base, then doing vaults, working on base, is to give these crystals time to grow, because of course you don't want to just go and do 5 vaults back to back to back and then have 0 vault crystals to continue doing more vaults, right? And then essentially have to wait an hour to an hour and a half to do another. So, all that being said and out of the way, we do need some food actually here real quick, so maybe I can be so lucky as to get this going before phantoms get to us, because this is a 3rd night out and about in the darkness, and so it will start spawning. Essentially, we're just going to hold down right click if you have a hoe, and it'll auto harvest any nearby wheat. So you can just walk up and down this middle path here, and you can hold down your ability button and the hoe button, and it'll just sort of get everything racked up for you there. We're going to turn this wheat into bread, and then we're hopping into a vault. Now with this next vault, I want to actually show y'all how to quickly traverse a vault and how to quickly go through and loot it, just for when you're, trying to get some more materials, trying to look for things specifically, right? All right, and we can always toss it if we don't end up needing it. So in we go to another vault, and again, this one will be fast forwarded just because a lot of it's just going to be me running through it. For this first little bit, I'm going to show you what I mean, show you what I'm doing. And then we'll get into, the action part of it. So first room, we already have a spawner that's right there near us. Kind of puts a damper on my plan, but it's okay. We can either stay to the outskirts or we can go ahead and build up and get it. I'm going to go ahead and build up and get it. I just don't want to be lazy with it, right? And I don't think this is a fizzle spawner, so we're going to have to break this. Be careful with how close you get, as mobs are going to be spawning on this platform and falling off trying to get you, kind of like that. And yeah, these things take a while. Worst case scenario, a skeleton with a bow and arrow spawns as you're breaking it and shoots you. Look, bad situations happen to the best of us, right? So, that is broken out of the way. We're going to give these guys a little bit of fall damage there, just to make their day. Try to get this chest. There we are. One of the worst and scariest things about Vault Hunters, you cannot open chests while you're crouching. Obviously, this is meant as a vanilla Minecraft kind of thing. That way you could place stuff up against chests without always having to open them. But, that being said, when it comes to Vault Hunters, not necessarily ideal. We need to go down one more here. So yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty easy experience there. Not exactly what we were looking for, and certainly not part of the main thing that I was going for today, but that's alright. Let's go down here. If you see anything like this, it is a special monolith, which you can activate, and that's basically just how you get the boss. We're not going to be doing the boss, but, for future's sake, that's how you do it. So what I want to actually get into is some quick room exploring. Come into a room, check around if there's easy boxes or loot to be had, note it, and keep on moving. What you're essentially doing is trying to see as many rooms as possible, right? So we're looking for lava right now. So what I want to do is just basically keep running straight through the rooms. If I see anything notable, note it. If not, keep on moving, we didn't find what we wanted to in there. I didn't see any special chests. There's no reason to spend any more time in that room than, honestly, what I already did. So okay, so quick pause here. This is a villager room. If you see this room with the lilacs and the two tall villager buildings, this is a villager room. How you get villagers, walk up to them, shift, right click, boom, in your inventory, and now you just have to not die. Their actual houses, they don't really have a whole lot of good loot inside of them. What I do like to get is the note blocks just for fun, you never know. And the bookshelves, right, because they give you books, which will come in handy later on. Flower pots and all that you don't really need. But yeah, this is a very good room because not only do you get the villagers there, they generally have either some farm up here, which I'm seeing this moss, and I definitely want some moss block. That just seems like a good thing to get. They also have these little mining tunnels. Very, very safe mining tunnels. I know it sounds like I'm being sarcastic, but I'm actually being super serious. Nothing spawns down here. There's no spawners, so you don't have to worry about any of that. And remember, this is only for the villager rooms. Don't go into one of those spruce rooms, think you can go down underground and be perfectly safe and fine, because what's in those rooms is spawners. Another piece of ancient debris. That makes our second one. We can almost get a piece of netherite gear in episode 2. That just feels... I feel fancy. I feel rather fancy. But yeah, you don't want to spend too much time on these rooms. Either come down in these, get the materials that you need, and get the heck out of Dodge, right? Alright, so we've looted everything in this room. Don't really need anything else. If you want some coral blocks, this is where you get it. You want sea pickles, yada, yada, yada. This is the place to make that happen. Anyways, we're going to keep on exploring, and yeah, we'll come back when we find something, or when we're leaving. Well, just like that, we got our second villager, which means our lives just got really, really easy. Yeah, like extremely easy. Generally, I'm not that lucky. If you have been, thank your lucky stars, because in my first run through of this, it took me somewhere around 5 to 6 vaults to really get villagers at all. So there we go. Let's get some sugarcane. We also want to get some of this kelp here. And what am I tossing out? Scaffolding. It's really easy to get scaffolding, and honestly, I don't use it really all that often. So, got our kelp, got our sugarcane, and this is stuff you'll only really have to worry about if you are playing in Sky Vaults. Ooh, wild flax. This stuff's really good too. You can plant it, and I believe you can get string from it, which will allow us to get a bed. So let's see. We're burning a little bit of time here, but the resources that we're gaining could be incredible. Let's toss out, I guess, the cobblestone. I hate to do it, but yeah, let's take a look and see. Flax can be turned into string, so let's get all of this then. This is how we'll get a bed and stop phantoms from spawning. So you have two methods in order to do this. You can either get lucky enough to do what I've just done here and find a flax room, or you can build a mob farm, slay some spiders, get it through that means. We still have 13 minutes left on our timer here, so we're still good to continue to explore. And explore we shall. Alrighty, so we have roughly 7 minutes left, and I have started heading back to our portal now. Just want to be safe rather than sorry, and you know, make sure we're not spending too much time out here. We should be trying to get back. Now, that being said, if we find any more of those cave rooms with the spruce trees in them, we're going to take a little peek-see down inside of them just to see if we can see any lava, because in those caves, sometimes there'll be little lava pits. If so, we'll run down, grab it, and run out, right? let's see. We are very close. I actually think this is the first room, right? Because we walked in and the spawner was right there in front of us. I said I didn't like it. We took care of it. Bada bing, bada boom. There's the portal home. Now, again, we have a little bit of time here, so I'm going to gather some resources. We still don't have a cobblestone generator. And in that vein of thinking, we're going to try to gather ourselves up a stack here. I'm going to put myself closer to the portal because, again, we can't sprint. So, push comes to shove. I'd rather be closer. But yeah, so this is basically a good way to get a lot of materials from the vault. Is to just sprint through them. Find the rooms that you want. Find the villager room. Find the ones that have the easy mineable materials. You know, if you weren't so lucky as me to find some early iron, all of those villager and spruce tree rooms can be a great way to get some easy iron. And let's take a look-see here just to see all of the loot that we did get. A lot of lapis, decent bit of iron there, some redstone, another diamond. We got kelp, moss, and sugarcane, all three growable, all really nice to be able to have in our Skyblock world. And 2 villagers, probably the biggest loot of them all, because this means we can do villager breeding now, villager trading, all of that stuff, right? And since we have the farmer ability, we can grow up trees really quickly and sell off the sticks. We can grow up wheat, potatoes, carrots once we get those, right, and sell them off to farmers. So obviously this is going to be huge for us. Now we only slayed 8 mobs that time. We got 117 XP. Not exactly groundbreaking. Now we came out of the vault. We're going to want to immediately get ourselves into some cover. Oh, and the other huge thing, we got flax, right? String. So we'll here in just a moment, once the sun does rise, we'll plant the flax, we'll build ourselves a bed, sleep through the next night, and never have to worry about phantoms ever again. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's where we're going to call it here today, because y'all don't need to see me sort my inventory and figure out where we're placing villagers, expand my island. We'll do some base building in the here's and there's of the episode, but a lot of this episode so far was supposed to be knowledge on how to get the most loot and the most effective loot out of your vaults as possible. All that being said, I hope you did enjoy this video. If so, be sure to leave a like down below, and of course subscribe if you're new here and you want to see more awesome content from yours truly. Lastly, be sure you're sharing this out with friends, family, friends of the family, family of the friends, if that's what it takes. You know, if you see somebody walking down the street, a stranger having a bad day, say, hey, you may not be into Minecraft. Heck, you might not even own a computer, but if you got a device of which you can view online internet videos, you should check this series out. I don't know, that took a weird left turn. Anyways, thank you all so very much. As per the usual, stay awesome, stay safe, and of course, stay crafting. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace.